Many months ago, if someone told me that Trinity would be an indomitable survival expert who could also keep her entire squad alive while dishing out funny red numbers, I wouldn't believe them. For a long time, no one played this frame. Even though she was a support frame with a rare squad energy restore ability, she was just bad. I myself never bothered with her, and honestly, I'm glad that she got reworked with Warframe 1999. Great survivability, high critical chance buff, and overall fun gameplay, at least for me, still don't make her the best support in the game. But I'm not gonna lie, she kinda slaps. Trinity has always been a support frame, and this is reflected in her abilities. Active abilities are focused on healing and damage reduction, while passively, 50% of her maximum energy pool is converted into bonus health for the entire squad. Trinity's first ability is Well of Life. When used, it will turn a single enemy into an angel. While in the air, the angels will passively heal nearby squad members. If they are not happy with passive healing, they can shoot the angel to get lifesteal and receive more healing. In addition to providing healing, the angels will also absorb status damage on nearby allies. And in the event of some overzealous Tenno trying to meet Jesus before their time, the angels will sacrifice themselves to prevent fatal damage. This can happen once every 60 seconds. To simplify, this ability is just a squad health restore with extra functions. In a way, I find the second ability, Energy Vampire, to be very similar to Well of Life. Activating this ability will cause the target to emit a couple of energy restoring pulses. If the enemy dies before they emit all the pulses, the remaining pulses will be released at once. Each pulse will also deal a percentage of the enemy's current health as true damage. To simplify, this ability is just a squad energy restore with extra functions. The third ability, simply named Link, will cause Trinity to chain to nearby enemies and turn into a drama queen, thus turning her biggest problem, damage received, into everyone else's problem. The maximum amount of damage received that can be redirected to enemies is 75%. Due to obvious reasons, this ability has no effect if at least one enemy is not chained. The last ability is Blessing, and it is a really good ability. With enough ability strength, this ability will completely restore shields and health to all allies in affinity range. When I say all allies, I mean all allies. Spectres, Coward Defectors, defense targets and other similar entities. This ability will also give allies up to 75% damage reduction. One thing that I find interesting about this ability is that it affects allies in affinity range. This means that effects that increase affinity range will also increase the range of Blessing. Trinity is a very beginner-friendly frame. The core of this game, especially in early hours of gameplay, is pretty simple. Take a rifle, aim and it shouldn't come as a surprise that any warframe can do this. If you combine these basic skills with constant energy restoration and healing, Trinity has a slight advantage. This is my beginner setup. Thanks to her sustain abilities, Trinity doesn't need much against lower level enemies. When it comes to endgame, I'm gonna be honest and say that I really didn't know which way to go. the best thing I could do is turn her into a tank that constantly heals her squad while buffing her weapons. These are my endgame mods. There are 3 things I would like to yap about here. I'm gonna start with Champion's Blessing. This is an augment for the last ability, and as you heal yourself or the squad, you will gain up to 350% critical chance for primary and secondary weapons. The duration of this buff is refreshed with every cast, and unless you get careless, it can always be active. It is a little bit tricky to actually charge this buff due to the damage reduction and redirection. I find that the best way to do this is to live dangerously and just hope for the best. I know this isn't the most appealing option, but having a combat discipline helps. The second thing is the unusually big energy pool I have because of Prime the Flow, Arcane Battery and Endurance Drift. Trinity theoretically doesn't need extra energy, but because of her passive, it is just more health for the entire squad. Lastly, I have only one ability strength mod, Archon Intensify. Well of Life, Energy Vampire and Link definitely benefit from having more ability strength, but Blessing reaches its maximum potential at around 150% ability strength. I personally don't see any real benefits in investing in more strength, so I decided to go with more range. Another build I tried and I also like is a slight modification of the first build. I replaced range mods with health conversion and the augment for Well of Life that gives extra health orbs, to give that extra armor and energy in return. I think both builds are strong and it comes down to personal preference and whether you are in a squad or solo. I'm gonna be quick with Archon shards. I went with 5 blue shards that give maximum armor possible. The only reason for this is Arcane Battery. When it comes to replacing abilities, Trinity is one of those warframes that I honestly don't see any use for Helmint. I tried out some abilities for fun and you can fool around, but all of her abilities work well together and I just don't see any ability that would really benefit her. There is also the question of which ability to replace. In my mind, the only options to replace are either Well of Life or Link, but like I said, I really think replacing these abilities is a bad decision. Perhaps in the comments you can give some suggestions I never even considered. With all said and done, I really like this new version of Trinity. She's a good tanky support-oriented frame and what she lacks in damage, she makes up in damage. Enjoy the rest of your life and let me know what do you think about this.